So continuing in the series of biostats, now I will be telling you about a small and simple topic which is very easy to understand, that is the test of significance. If you are following me in the series of biostats, in the last lecture I have told you the concept of p-value. In that lecture, I have taken an example of the diabetic patients coming in the diabetic OPD of AIMS Rishikesh. I made two groups. In one group, I give an anti-diabetic drug X, and in another group, I give anti-diabetic drug Y. After giving the drug X and drug Y, I checked the random blood sugar level of the patients and I compared the drug X and drug Y. So by comparing the random blood sugar after giving drug X and drug Y, I decided that which drug is better based on the random blood sugar which is achieved after giving that specific drug. But in this process, I have to take in my mind the concept of p-value. I have told you that if p-value is less than 0.05, then only I can say that my results are statistically significant. And then at that time I have told you that for the calculation of p-value, I have to put all my data into a computer and the computer generates a p-value for me. If the p-value is less than 0.05, that means that the results which you are obtaining are statistically significant. Drug X is not same as drug Y. Drug X is better than drug Y. Now, if I say you that the computer which I was talking about in the previous video is not any computer, these are the test of significance. So these are the tests which can generate me a value, that is p-value. If you are not able to correlate with me, please give me your important time and watch my lecture on the concept of p-value. So test of significance are the mathematical formulas to derive the p-value. So मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप मुझे फॉलो कर रहे होंगे. मैंने पिछले वीडियो में एग्जांपल दिया था कि मैंने 200 डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स लिए डायबिटिक ओपीडी से. 100 पेशेंट्स को मैंने ड्रग एक्स दिया और 100 पेशेंट्स को मैंने ड्रग वाई दिया. फिर आफ्टर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ ड्रग एक्स एंड ड्रग वाई, आई चेक्ड द रैंडम ब्लड शुगर ऑफ ऑल दीज पेशेंट्स, and based on the random blood sugar, based on the reduction in the RBS in these patients, I have to say that the drug X is better than drug Y or drug X is same as drug Y. To say that drug X is better than drug Y, if there is a much more reduction of RBS in case of patients of drug X as compared to drug Y, I have to follow a condition that the p-value should be less than 0.05 to say that my results are statistically significant or my results are out of the zone of normalcy. To generate that p-value, we have to apply the test of significance, and test of significance are the mathematical formulas to derive that p-value. So test of significance are basically divided into two types based on the type of data, that is parametric and non-parametric. Parametric tests are applied for the quantitative data and non-parametric test is applied for qualitative data. So parametric, the more the number of T's, the more you include it in parametric. Quantitative have 3 T's in it, so you should include it in parametric test. So this was a simple trick which you can remember whenever you confuse between both these two. So what is the difference between quantitative and a qualitative data. For a more detailed explanation on this, that what is quantitative data and what is qualitative data, I have already told you this in my previous video, but for the sake of completion I will tell you something here also. That is, quantitative data includes interval and ratio. Qualitative data includes nominal and ordinal data. Quantitative data is expressed in terms of mean and standard deviation, and qualitative data is expressed in terms of percentage and proportion. Quantitative data can be measured and have units. So let me give you example. What is the height? So height comes under the quantitative data because I can calculate the mean height, because it is a continuous data and it has many values between two observations. Many means infinite values. I can have a height of 160, 160.1, 160.11. So there are many values in between the values and it can be measured and it have units. If I ask you anemia, tell me what type of data it is. So anemia is a qualitative data, because in case of anemia I can calculate percentage or proportion only. I can say that this much percentage of people are having anemia. I can't calculate mean in this case. I can't calculate standard deviation in this case. So anemia is an example of qualitative data. That means non-parametric test will be performed for it. Parametric tests are performed for normally distributed data, and non-parametric test is used when data is skewed or not normally distributed. Now tell me, the staging of cancer will come under which type of test? I want to ask you what type of data it is. Staging of cancer. Stage, let's take an example, stage 1 cervical cancer, stage 2 cervical cancer. In this case, I can calculate the proportion of patients in stage 1 cervical cancer, in stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. It is a type of ordinal data, means it is a type of staging of data. So it comes under qualitative data and I have to apply non-parametric test for it. Now I will tell you the name of the test depending on the number of groups which we are being given in the question. If you are given a single group, 2 groups, 3 groups, अगर आपको सिंगल ग्रुप की बात हो रही है और डाटा क्वांटिटेटिव है तो हम पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट अप्लाई करेंगे. और कौन सा पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट अप्लाई करेंगे? अनपेयर्ड टी टेस्ट. एंड द नेम ऑफ द टेस्ट इफ इट इज अ क्वालिटेटिव डाटा इज मैकनीमार टेस्ट. देयर आर 2 ग्रुप्स, then it is known as unpaired t test, and if it is qualitative data then it is chi-square test or Fisher exact test. If there are 3 groups in case of quantitative data, ANOVA test is used. It is a qualitative data. The name of the test is Kruskal-Wallis test. So single group, what I mean by a single group? Single group means, let me give you a situation that is before and after intervention. मैंने 50 पेशेंट्स अनीमिया के उठाए, मैंने उनमें हीमोग्लोबिन चेक किया, मैंने उनमें फिर 1 यूनिट ऑफ पैक्ड आरबीसी चढ़ाए और मैंने फिर उनमें हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल चेक किया. सो आई हैव चेक्ड एंड कंपेयर्ड द हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल बिफोर एंड आफ्टर द इंटरवेंशन. द इंटरवेंशन इन दिस केस was the packed RBC, 1 unit of packed RBC, and the variable and the data which I was comparing was the hemoglobin level. And hemoglobin level is what type of data? Qualitative, quantitative. Mean hemoglobin can be calculated, so it is a quantitative data. there are a number of values in between two values. It can be 15.1, 15.12, 15.15. So it is a quantitative data and single group is there. So it is unpaired t-test which I have to apply in this case. Now I am giving you another situation. In a group of 100 women, I calculated the proportion of obesity, that is the number of females which were obese. Now I gave an intervention, I gave a lifestyle modification, and after this I again checked the proportion of obese women among that 100 women. So intervention in this case was lifestyle modification, and I checked the proportion of obesity before and after the intervention. And the obesity in this case is what type of data? It is qualitative data. I can calculate proportion and I can't calculate mean. So obesity is a qualitative data, and the test which I have to apply for checking the p-value, for calculating the p-value in this case is मैकनीमार test. टू ग्रुप्स की मैं बात करूं सर, मैंने हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल चेक किया इन 20 पेशेंट्स ऑफ डेंगू and in 20 patients of typhoid, and I compared both of them. So there are two groups. It is hemoglobin level which is being checked, and hemoglobin level is a quantitative data. So the test which I have to apply is unpaired t-test. And same case, if I take three groups or more than three groups, I checked hemoglobin level in dengue patients, in typhoid patients, and in cholera patients, and in another group of patients. Means there are more than two groups, three or more groups. So the test which I have to apply is the ANOVA test. Twisting the situation, if I tell you the proportion of anemic patients who are dengue positive as compared to the proportion of anemic patients who are typhoid positive as compared to the proportion of anemic patients who are having cholera. So the anemia is what type of data? Can you calculate the mean? Can you calculate the standard deviation? No, but I can calculate the proportion of patients having anemia. So in this case, it is qualitative data, and if there are two groups, I have to apply chi-square test, and if there are more than two groups, three or more groups, I have to apply Kruskal-Wallis test. The groups means the dengue patients, cholera patients, and typhoid patients. And in the previous case I was comparing hemoglobin, but in this case I am comparing the anemia. Anemia, I have to calculate the proportion, number of anemic patients and number of non-anemic patients. And in case of hemoglobin, I can calculate the mean value. So the hemoglobin for me was a quantitative data and anemia was a qualitative data. So Fisher exact test is used when sample size is less than 30. And you have to remember that Z test is used when sample size is more than 30 in place of t test. So now keep answering with me in the different examples which I am asking from you. The BP levels in two groups with two different drugs. What test will you apply for the calculation of p-value? Tell me step by step. First of all, what type of data it is? BP level. You can calculate the mean very easily, mean BP. So it is a quantitative data. Number of groups, there are two groups. So the test which I have to apply is the paired t-test. Very easy. Prevalence of smoking in two groups after giving health education. So the prevalence of smoking is very clear that it is a qualitative data. There are two groups. Very good. So the test which I have to use is chi-square test. or Fisher exact test depending on the sample size. Marks of students, two classes who are studying from two different teachers. So the marks, what type of data it is? Of course, it is a quantitative data. I can compare, I can calculate the mean, number of groups, two groups. So very easy. Paired t-test have to be applied. Continuing the same example, if I want to compare the marks pre-class test and पोस्ट क्लास टेस्ट, मैं क्लास में गया, मैंने उनसे एक टेस्ट लिया और उनके मार्क्स देखे, उसके बाद मैंने उसी टॉपिक के ऊपर एक लेक्चर लिया बच्चों का और उसके बाद फिर से सेम टेस्ट लिया और उनके मार्क्स देखे और मैंने कंपेयर किया मेरे लेक्चर लेने से पहले के मार्क्स को और मेरे लेक्चर लेने के बाद के मार्क्स को. सो व्हाट टेस्ट विल यू अप्लाई इन दिस केस? सो ऑफ कोर्स मार्क्स इज द वेरिएबल. It is what type of data? It is quantitative data. Before and after there is same group, so it is unpaired t-test. There are three villages. Village name Kyodak, another village name is Chika, and the third village name is Gyeong. In the village Kyodak, the females were given iron tablets, and in Chika iron plus folic acid tablets, and in Gyeong I gave iron, folic acid and vitamin B12. After giving these intervention, I have to compare the prevalence of anemia. Tell me what test will you apply? First of all, what type of data I am calculating? Anemia. I have already given you the example. Anemia is a qualitative data. Okay, tell me the number of groups. There are three villages, so there are three groups. So the non-parametric test will be applied and Kruskal-Wallis test will be applied. Let me twist this example. If in this case I have to compare the hemoglobin levels in these three villages after the administration of these three different drugs, what type of test will you apply? The game changes. Hemoglobin is a quantitative data and the number of groups are three. So the ANOVA test is to be applied in this case. So I am closing this lecture. At the end of the lecture, I want to say you a point. In this fast world, you have to be very slow inside. You have to be very calm inside. You have to be literally, जिसे कहते हैं आपको बिल्कुल स्लो नहीं, एकदम स्थिर होना पड़ेगा. All these exams, all this work, all these duty and all these responsibilities will be continuing throughout the life, and don't get so much involved in all this. And you have to be very calm and stable inside, and you have to pray daily. You have to remember the God daily. Only then you can achieve that stability in your life, and after achieving that stability, all that things which you are hustling for, all that success which you are for which you are working very hard, will look more satisfying to you and will give more pleasure to you and will give more happiness to you only when you are internally stable. So keep working hard, not only on outside environment but on inside environment also. Okay, bye. Thank you very much for watching me.